good morning, afternoon, night, evening, whenever you find it most comfortable to join us around this bonfire. A quick bonfire. We're only putting a log or two in there because really this weather is not bonfire weather. I am hot, I'm sticky, and I am also Alan the Pole with the goal. And I'm also joined by our lovely jubbly co-host, singular, DJ.
Tim's not here. I can do that now. Yay!
Yeah. So it's only a two-man crew for today. We're making a really quick fire bonfire to recap the last game as well as to sort of preview the next game since we have two games in 1 week. So before we get into the game, we'll start off with a little bit of news, and that is Philip Zinkernagel has been named to the MLS All-Star Game for this season. He wasn't voted in. He was chosen by the coach. But it is, I believe, the first Fire player since Kai Kamara in 2023, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, and I think he is the first. Okay. He is the first player since Kai Kamara. Kai Kamara is first since Bachi in 2018. It was the first since the 2017, that whole shindig with Kapanovic. And he is the first, which was the first since Mike McGee in 2013. The reason I bring this up is because Tim asked me this question, and I had to do so much autism. So, yeah, Tim, here is your answer.
Yeah, there we go. So, not the Fire haven't been consistent in terms of sending players, but the coach for the MLS All-Star Game, of whom I already forgot, DJ, off the top of your head, do you know who the coach for the MLS All-Star Game is?
Nico Estevez.
Yes, he was chosen by the coach. So that just shows that his skills have been noticed, and it has been noticed enough to be put in the All-Star Game that's happening in Austin against the Liga MX All-Stars. So,
interesting tangent to add on. Nico Estevez was Greg's assistant coach for the USMNT in Columbus. So, hey.
That's pretty neat. That's probably where he sort of got that notice from. And I know there were people asked Zink about it, and he said that he's not exactly sure what it's going to entail since All-Star games are very much an American thing, but he's excited and he can't wait to see what this is all about. So very, very big congratulations to Philip Zinkernagel. Moving on, the MLSPA have announced the salaries, and Bamba is the highest paid Fire player with $5.6 million, followed by Hugo Kuipers at $3.5 million. So they are making a bit of bank, our two DP players. As DJ nods his head in agreement.
Nothing else to add. I will post a Twitter thread later about the autism.
Yes, definitely. We'll definitely check out meninred97.com as well as our Twitter X, our Instagram. You'll find the links there going more into depth about the wages as well as the salaries of our Fire players. The last bit of news that will sort of lead us into the Fire game has to do with the incident that happened in the supporter section during the game involving security group Monterrey. The Fire, as well as the supporter groups, have released a statement about the incident. So the Fire said the team is aware of an incident that occurred last night during the match in the supporter section. Our number one priority is creating a safe, comfortable, and enjoyable match day experience for all fans, staff, and players. Prior to Saturday's match, we will be meeting with Soldier Field leadership, who oversees and hold the contract with the stadium security provider, as well as supporter group leaders to learn more and ensure the supporter section maintains a safe and welcoming environment for all. There have been complaints in the last few years that the Fire have been at Soldier Field, as well as in the years at Bridgeview, escalating incidents in the supporter section. Sector Latino released a statement saying, Monterrey security has a long history of escalating incidents and inflicting violence on Fire supporters of all ages and backgrounds. We are sorry, but not surprised that their overly aggressive actions have once again tainted a game. The Fire need to hold Monterrey security responsible and accountable and not rely on the vague agreements Monterrey has agreed to in the past. Section 8 also released a statement saying that they requested a meeting and will be participating in a sit down with the front office to further investigate what occurred, ensure transparency, and hold all parties accountable for their actions. And also encourage any supporters who witnessed the incidents, or have concerns, questions, or information relevant to reach out to us directly. So, yeah, basically, it's another incident. The Fire have themselves put out a statement and are holding this meeting with the supporter groups, with Soldier Field and the leadership there, since the Fire don't really have that much of a say, since Monterey are contracted through Soldier Field and the Park District. So, I read some fans saying that they don't want Monterey to be the security group when the Fire gets their new stadium. We just got to sit tight and wait to see what happens, essentially, from that point. Going into the game, what happened? Uh, few few big events. So one, the Fire did lose 1-0 off of an unfortunate handball from Gutman that led to a PK. Unfortunately, Gall was sent in the opposite direction to make it 1-0 very early on in the game. And the Fire just really didn't show up to this game. You have to give credit to Philadelphia. They pretty much overpowered the Fire in a lot of in in almost all aspects. They bossed the midfield. Like, they were taking the ball away in the Fire's defensive midfield or in the defensive third, and they were just applying constant pressure. And whenever it felt like the Fire were trying to push forward, they just kept just overshooting it, or they just were manhandled by the Philadelphia midfield. They just really couldn't get anywhere. And if I remember correctly, they only had like one, maybe two registered on target shots. So they were just locked down.
Yeah, the Fire had 2 shots on goal. Philadelphia had 3. It is,
Yeah.
to be fair with the Fire, to be perfectly fair, Philadelphia is the literal best team in the East, and they showed why. They are unbeaten, I think, 13 games now, I want to say, across all competitions. So, yes, the Fire were up against a very tough challenge, but also there was that one shot from Bamba, the one shot that he skied. It was perfectly delivered. All he needs to do is hit it at the right angle, and he skied. I mean, not like the Wondolowski situation in 2014 where you have to hit it with a perfect dime. No, this is just like you really screwed up that shot, Papa, and that's been the problem the Fire have had lately. I've noticed is you take a shot, it's not going to work because you just are not hitting it properly at all. If you even get on target.
Yeah, it's they're just having so much difficulty just take it, like, because there were moments where the Fire have engaged and they into the final third, into the box, but they, again, I would say they were almost manhandled out of the way or just blocked and weren't able to put a shot on target. And you mentioned there was that one Bamba shot that just got skied, and there were a few other chances. I know Kuipers had a first half chance that went just over the net. I know his substitute Barlow also had a shot that just went into the side netting. It was just not an accurate game overall in terms of shot accuracy, which did lead to um, Bamba getting substituted, Kuipers as well. So yeah, a lot of non-factors, unfortunately, up front, which is our strongest suit. That's what we have so far.
Kuipers, especially when he got subbed off, he was pissed. You could tell that he didn't go with Barlow. He literally just walked right over to the bench and sat right down. And it was like he was done.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't blame him. I'd be mad as well. I mean, heck, I am a bit disappointed considering that prior to recording, we were talking about how the Fire have this tendency that whenever they fix something else just breaks. And the one thing that we could say is fixed is the fact that the Fire are playing so much better in terms of away games, we can go back to, like, I think it was Rafa Wiki's first season with the Fire, where he won 0 home games, or like it was just incredibly poor in terms of their away performance, but they managed to keep the points tally at home, fairly good. And now the Fire are 6-4-0 on the bounce on away games. I think they're still the best in MLS when it comes to away games, but their home record is 1-3-4. So one win, and it was that one win against Atlanta where we get to see, first of all, 3 points, a win, and also sexy shirtless sax man.
I still have nightmares.
We all still have nightmares because of it. Yeah, that's how we're still sitting on 25 points, which is, I believe, if I remember correctly, if you told me correctly, the same amount as our next opponent that we're playing this Saturday, Charlotte.
Yep. Charlotte, which is our one and only friend in this entire thing, because we either are really good against them or we suck against them. There's no middle ground.
That's true. That is true. It feels like, considering the fact that the previous game that the Fire have played against Charlotte was a 4-1 win. So they handled Charlotte pretty well on the bounce, but I feel like at home it's been fairly how do we say, difficult. I always keep thinking back to 2 seasons ago when we won 4-1 at home against Miami. If we won the next game, we would have had, I think it was pretty much win and you're in for the playoffs against Charlotte. And what ended up happening? We ended up losing 2-0. So
Yep.
so hoping for a turnaround in that sense. So yeah, please, for the love of everything that's holy.
I will add on, looking at the whole roster right now, I feel like this is one thing too. Bamba really needs to step up because he's starting to look a lot like Shaqiri did, where you can see what the good things are, but he's not there. And I want to make a point. This is also part of the problem. Bamba already is one of the best DPs in Fire history. Shaqiri is also one of the best DPs in Fire history. It's not because both of them have been playing absolutely amazing, stellar. It's because the Fire have had a really bad history of DPs.
Yeah.
But I really don't want to see Bamba turn into Shaqiri. He's got to start stepping. He's got to start getting those shots on target. I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if he really needs that vacation that he's going to get in a month or so. But he's got to step it up.
Yeah, and we need to start making the record a bit more level, considering that head to head, it's 2 wins for the Fire and 5 for Charlotte. So we just need that. We need that home win against Charlotte. So as it currently stands, they are tied on points, but the Fire sit in 10th, while Charlotte is in 9th in that play-in position. Due to goal differential, if I'm correct.
Wins.
Oh, wins. No, you're right. It is wins because Charlotte has 8 wins. The Fire only have 7. You are correct. I apologize. So, beat them, and we could possibly inch ever so slightly closer to that playoffs. The infamous playoffs. Even play in, but playoffs would be so much better. So, yeah. The Fire just need the win. They need a home win, especially, it's summer. People are going to be going out to more of these games with this incredible weather. It wasn't really hot at the game, but it was just very humid. Like I was schwitzing by halftime. So please win.
It's also worth noting the Charlotte team is not that good away from home. They're 2-1, which is still better than the Fire are at home, but not that good either.
That is true. So hey, let's give them another route. This time at home, because then afterwards the Fire are playing away. for 2 games. First, an MLS game against Cincy, and then Minnesota in the Open Cup. So, I mean, heck, a home win would definitely boost morale for those 2 away games, especially for the Open Cup, because I definitely feel like that of the final can be, or even a win for the cup is a possibility. So, really, 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 really hoping that happens.
And there's a question for the Open Cup game too: is Chris Brady back? Which
That
is
is
still
true.
disappointing that Brady did not play Sunday.
Oh my god! Oh my days! That's just something. Like, literally, give Brady Maurizio Pochettino. I like Spurs, so I'm so used to saying Maurizio Pochettino, he's magic, but let the kid play. Give the 2 Mats a break, considering that the 2 are having the battle of the mid, and give Chris Brady a shot. Like, I know I don't want to say that he's wasting his time, because he's definitely doing work with the national team, and he's definitely trying to prove his worth there on the training ground and to possibly make a push. But like, give him a break. Give him a break. Like, let him play. Like, let him play.
And if you don't give him a chance here, there's a very good chance he's in Scotland.
That's true. That's true, because he's not cap tied, and there's a possibility he can get that Scottish passport, and then he's off to Scotland to play with Robo out on the wing and John McGinn. So yeah, shout out Paul, Chicago's favorite Scotsman. Love you. Do you have a score prediction for the Charlotte game, for Chicago v Charlotte?
Honestly, I'm going to say it's going to end in a 2-0 win.
2-0 win.
We'll be hopeful. Say it's going to be a 2-0 win. It's going to be like, I don't know, just Zinkernagel and I think Elliott deserves goal. Zinkernagel and Elliott.
Neat. I'm honestly, because my previous prediction was a 1-0 win, ended up being a 1-0 loss. I'm low-key thinking, I'm honestly thinking in a similar vein, a 1-0 win. Because apart from the PK situation and the fact that like there kind of was a handball situation for Philly, but the ref didn't call that. Looking past that, the Fire they were able to keep Philly out, at least in that point. Maybe, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that the Fire forwards and midfield sort of step out of that slump, and play against a team that's basically on their level, since they're equal on points, and put something into the back of the net. So I'm still sticking with 1-0 though, and I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably going to be Kuipers that gets that goal. So yeah.
I like that.
Swinging. All right. Have you anything else to add, Mr. DJ?
I think it's very safe to say canned soup.
I mean, heck. Can't remember the last time I had canned soup, but I do like me some soup. Thank you so much for joining me, Alan the Pole with the Goal, and DJ, the Florida's fireman. Again, fingers crossed, knock on wood, for a better result against Charlotte. We need more wins at home. Give the crowd what they want, and that is some goals, and that is some wins as well. So, as always, thank you to our MVP of the podcast, Austin, our editor, producer, for making all of this happen. Check us out, MIR97 on X, Men in Red 97, meninred97.com as well. Come on, you Men in Red.